morning, everyone. I am really excited to be here to share with the 1 Million Cups community about my new business, Shift Coaching Services. While I was preparing for this presentation, I learned a lot about myself. And what I learned was that being an entrepreneur, a leader, and leaning into my strengths and resiliency, it's in my genes. My great-grandparents came to the United States from Japan, and they settled in Bellingham, Washington, where they built, owned, and operated a restaurant called the Oyster Bar. Yeah. Oh. There it is. There it is. And it's still there today. It's not run and operated by my family anymore, but it is still there up on Chuckanut Drive. So I definitely recommend checking it out. My American-born Japanese grandparents were early in their marriage when they were sent to internment camps during World War II. When they were released from prison, they had to start their lives all over again with a brand new baby, and I never once heard them complain. In 1974, I'm 6 years old, and I'm sitting in my grandma's basement, which is filled with shelves of olive green, mustard yellow, burnt orange Tupperware containers of all different shapes and sizes. Her nickname was Jeannie O, and she was in charge of a unit called the Miracle Workers. I'd be in my grandma's basement, I'd help her stamp catalogs, and I'd go with her on her deliveries. And I watched her as she helped women build their own successful businesses over her 30-year career. When Jeannie O spoke, everyone listened. I love this picture. There she is doing her Tupperware. So what I really come to find was that watching her help others, serve others, and train and develop a team while putting her family first really shaped who I am today. I'm 22 years old and I graduate from the University of Washington, and I'm the first person in my family to earn a college degree. Shortly after I graduate, I get invited to a Mary Kay party. I love skincare and makeup, and I thought that would be really fun. So I go to the Mary Kay party, and I, like Grandma Jean, I sign in, become a Mary Kay consultant, build a team, learn how to run a small business, and I end up earning a car. Now, while it wasn't the typical pink Cadillac, I was pretty excited to be driving around in this sporty little red Pontiac Grand Am. In 2007, I'm a full-time mom of a 3-year-old daughter and a 7-month-old daughter, and I'm up to my eyeballs in dirty diapers. I don't have time to brush my teeth, and a girlfriend invites me to a cabbie party. I had always loved fashion, so I thought this could be really fun. A night out with wine, women, and friends, heck yeah. So as I go to the show, I start to consider and wonder, what could cabbie life be for me? So I watched the stylist present this beautiful line of clothing, and I thought, this could be perfect fit for where I am in my life, where I could have a business and still keep my family's needs first. So just like Grandma Jean, that's exactly what I do. I sign on to become a stylist with Cabbie, and I grow a team across the United States. During my time as a top leader in Cabbie, I received an amazing amount of great leadership training. And one of my favorite tools was Gallup's Clifton Strengths. Is anyone familiar with Gallup? So I love studying Gallup's strengths. I studied my top 5. I studied the top 5 of the women on my team. And I saw how our individual strengths could really bring us together to have a really collaborative and supportive team. About 10 years into my Cabbie career, my girls are growing up, and I decide it is time to make a shift, pun intended. So I look at my strengths, and I see that there are some resonating words that keep coming up. Themes like mentoring, teaching, coaching. Well, I've been coaching my team along all those years, and I loved coaching. So I thought, let's check into that. So I contacted a couple coaches to see if it's going to be the right fit for me. And I knew that I was on the right track. In the September of 2019, a major shift in my life happens. I started Shift Coaching. I had a party. I invited my family and friends. And then the very next week, I moved into a rental. I became a single mom. And I was watching my marriage of 21 years dissolve. 6 months later, the lockdown happens. And I'm like, oh my gosh, my business, I can no longer see my clients. And I'm wondering how I'm going to pay my bills. So over the past 3.5 years, which have been the most challenging years of my life, I have really leaned into my strengths and developed really great resiliency skills. In January of 2023, I relaunched Shift Coaching Services with my business partner, Jennifer Dutillé. I probably missed a couple slides by now. Let's see where we're at. There's my Gabby team. Okay, so Jennifer and I are both ICF certified coaches, and I'm ICF also a resiliency coach. Here's how we work. We get to know you to see what your goals are and what your limiting beliefs are, and see how we can partner with you along the way. We create a plan and implement something that works for you. And then we come alongside you as an accountability partner to help you grow over time, because we know that it takes time to develop new skills and new practices. Who we help? We help individuals with one-on-one coaching. We also work with leaders to help them create a team that's really collaborative and cohesive. And we work with teams to facilitate classes on strengths and resiliency. Here's our QR code. If you're interested in working with us, go ahead and scan that. Our goal in the next 2 years is to bring on other coaches to help others build their strengths and resiliency. It's in my genes. I can't help it. It's just what I do. So thank you. I brought a notebook to take a lot of notes because there's so much great minds in this room. So here's my notepad. So I'm curious about what questions you might have. And what to ask. So Christy always does this. So I have a question, and that is for 1 Million Cups for Support. We are working with leaders of small teams and individuals as well, but we would be curious to hear I'm curious to hear who resonates with you on who you could see as a referral for Shift Coaching. Oh, yep, sure. So we're looking for referrals for clients who are leaders of small teams and individuals as well.
Question. When you talk about, so are you typically engaged with an organization, or are you said organizations or individuals? So would an organization bring you in to work with their leadership team, or would like a C-level executive engage with you, or how does that work?
Yeah, no, that's a really good question. So what we found so far is that, for example, we had a woman come to us who's a pediatrician, and her team is probably 5 or 6 people, and she's having a hard time keeping the team engaged. So we work with the leader, and then we will facilitate classes for the team and coach the leader individually, and then each of the team members individually too, depending on what their needs are. Yeah, good question. Natalie?
What is your time?
That is a really great question. We're leaning into that right now. So to be honest, we're just trying to find our bearings as we're just starting out. We just relaunched in January, but right now we are talking to a woman who has a lot of connections in different organizations around the city. So we're looking at bringing on people that have great connections who she also has a little bit of skill with coaching. So, and she potentially could be helping us with marketing. So really right now it's word of mouth, and I've been networking a lot at different organizations, and we'll continue to do that as well. But that's our goal, is to bring on others that can help us grow our business and then scale it that way. Thank you. Good question. That's Jessica.
Talked about both growing a team and growing yourself. And so I'm wondering the balance between in, say, 5, 10 years, do you see yourself more coaching and with a team that is coaching, or do you see yourself more the leader of a group of coaches and backing away from coaching yourself and the actual clients?
Yes, that. Although I love working with clients, so I do see myself as I've been growing teams over the years. I love growing teams and I think it's really fun. And I like being a leader to be able to facilitate that. So I think it'll be an interesting way to grow, to see how I feel about that. But I do see myself as somebody who's bringing on other coaches and helping them grow their businesses and leading them. Yeah, good question. Anyone else? Yep.
Like your own branded approach to coaching, or are you taking existing models and kind of using on client needs? And then the other question I have is, what are the types of clients that you see are most interested in what you have to offer?
Okay, so to answer your first question, I was talking to Natalie about this earlier, and what I love about coaching is there's just so many different areas that to explore, to be able to bring tools in. But right now, our main tools is we work with Gallup Strengths Finder. Love that. I've been studying it for years and literally write down people's strengths because it really gives me an opportunity to see who they are. And I also truly believe that when you use your strengths, you're just going to have a more productive life, and it's easier to work within your strengths than to always work on things that you're not so great at. And so I also have a practice of resiliency that not only have I developed over many years to help me stay grounded, but I now have some great tools in order to help others to build that resiliency. And so what was the second question, please?
What are the types of clients you see are most interested in what you're offering? What's the profile of business or person?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I would say we're still leaning into that as well and learning about small businesses because I'm drawn to small businesses because I've been working with small businesses. When our friend came to us with the team that's a little bit disjointed, that really resonated with me. So I do see us working with small teams because I like the intimacy of that, the thought of being able to take the time, help them develop the skills of strengths and resiliency over a period of time, because those things take time to develop. And we'll be there as an accountability partner over say 3 to 6 months to see how they're growing together and individually as well. Yeah.
So, what does your partner like to the team that's different?
Good question. So Jen is in Parker, Colorado. We met initially through Cabby, and she is also an ICF certified coach. And so we collaborate together to facilitate these workshops and presentations. So we're both on that same page and aligned with strengths and resiliency practices too. Say that again, please.
Yeah, so something that I know that is run by leadership within that organization can be tricky.
Yes. Sure.
So I'm curious if your guys' leadership trainings can also work for that.
Oh, that's a great question. I believe that we definitely could, for sure. I think it's a matter of with fine tuning any team, whether it's a family or not, is helping somebody develop their leadership strengths and then diving into each individual strengths to make sure everybody has their path. And so to show them how they can work together most collaboratively, even if it's a family. And that's a really good point because we're leaders, even if we're in our own family, right? And so what kind of leader we're hearing, I've had a couple people ask me recently, I'm looking at building my own team. Can you do that? I said, yes, 100%, because that's what I've been doing. And I ask, what kind of leader do you want to be? And I literally got like a shock look because sometimes people don't think about that. Like, well, really, it's something to consider if you're going to be a leader. And not a lot of people take the time to do that. They're often put into those roles without any thought or goals on, well, what kind of leader do I want to be? So good question.
How should people get in touch with you? What's the best way?
The QR code.
QR code.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Grab that. And then is it, if they don't grab that one, follow up your website?
Correct.
Instagram, okay, Shift Coaching.
Shiftcoachingservices.com.
ShiftCoachingServices.com. Got it.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Awesome.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.